Hello, dear all. We all know that when we write sentences, we need to break. That means short break or pause. This means that we are going to use commas, but not always in a sentence. From one of your recommended books, I'd like to share 6 main uses of commas. Number 1, we use commas to separate items in a series. For example, if we say, I have 2 pencils, comma, 1 sharpener, comma, and 1 eraser, full stop. That means you used commas to separate items in a series. Number 2, to set off introductory material. That means if you want to set off the introductory material, you have to use comma in the middle of your sentence. For example, after doing online class in the morning, comma, I took a nap, full stop. In a sentence, sometimes some words or even phrases interrupt the flow of thought. Yes, in number 3, we find that the words or phrases that interrupt the flow of thought of a sentence, we use commas. For example, if I tell you, my students, comma, who are attentive and sincere, comma, join online classes every day. That means I added 2 commas here, and some words or phrases interrupted the flow of thought of this sentence. That's why I added 2 commas in between the sentence. I'm repeating again. My students, comma, who are attentive and sincere, comma, join online classes every day, full stop. Number 4 will be related to comma between complete thoughts. Yes, we use comma between 2 complete thoughts that are connected by and, but, or, nor, for, so, and yet. For example, the students were waiting for their online class, comma, but they could not join on time, full stop. If you see, the sentence has one subject, but double verb. You will not use comma in that sentence. For example, they will be joining online classes tomorrow and participating oral exam, full stop. That means here we have got one subject but 2 verbs. Okay, that is why we did not use comma to make complete thoughts, because it doesn't have more than one subject. And finally, we use comma when we use quotation mark. That means we already talked about it in the previous video that was related to quotation marks. I hope it will be very helpful. I'm giving you one more example here. The sentence can start with a quotation marks like this. Quotation marks. Would you mind opening the window? Question mark. Quotation marks closed. The teacher said, full stop. We can start the sentence like this. The teacher said, comma, quotation marks started. Would you mind opening the window? Question mark, and then close the quotation marks. And make sure the word would you mind, would, that means the capital letter will be W. And also, of course, hope you already remembered the sentences related to short works, as I have already mentioned in quotation marks. So in that video, already I talked about it. That means if you talk about the name of the song, suppose it's related to Just Beat It song, Michael Jackson's Just Beat It song, or if it's related to Every Night in My Dreams, that means each letter, okay, each word will be starting with the capital letter. Suppose Every Night in My Dreams, so E will be capital, night will be starting with N capital. Besides these 6 rules from the referred book, I'd like to suggest more rules. That means sometimes or most often we use, these are related to daily material. That means we use comma with each certain everyday material. Suppose you are speaking, or you are the speaker, and you made a sentence like Rina, comma, go to the class right now, full stop. So already you used comma after mentioning his or her name. Or you can talk like this: will you come to the university, comma, Tina, or comma, Raz, question mark. That means you made a question, and besides this you mentioned one person's name. So be sure, if you write the name at first, you have to put a comma just after person's name. And if you put the person's name just after your question mark, be sure before ending question mark or just before his or her name, you are going to add, or you are going to put comma, and after his or her name, put question mark. When you want to mention the month or even the date or even the year, you have to be careful using comma in this sentence. January 1, comma, 2020, comma, was my favorite day because there was no exam, full stop. That means you added 2 commas after writing January 1 and then comma, after writing 2020 and put a comma, and after that write the rest of the sentence. As an everyday material, we use commas to write our addresses. Suppose your address starts with some names related to the area. First, you write the area where you live. Suppose it's related to 100 Roxborough Avenue, and after that put a comma. Write Cleveland, and after that put a comma, and after that write whether it's related to Ohio or not. As it has been mentioned in the book, most important thing is when we mention the zip code, we must not use any comma but hyphen. My friend stays at or lives at 100 Shatmurshid Road, comma, Dhanmondi, comma, Dhaka 1205, and then full stop. When we write a letter, suppose you mention Dear Madam or Dear Sir, we use comma. After writing Dear Sir or Dear Madam, we put a comma. And when we end the letter, okay, we use another comma. It's like sincerely yours, comma. That means yours forever or sincerely. After that, we put a comma. But make sure the most important thing is, if the letter is very formal, we use colon. That means after mentioning Dear Sir or Dear Madam, we use colon for formal writing. Comma is also used in numbers. Suppose the sentence is like this. Suppose if it's related to odometer, so you have to mention, or you have to use comma by mentioning the 98,000, 120. That means he saw that the odometer of his car showed 98,120 miles. Full means to show the numbers 56,122. After writing 56, put a comma and rest of the numbers. It's like 56,000, 122. So these are all about commas and related to numbers. As punctuation marks, it has been discussed in previous videos related to apostrophe, quotation marks, and already today's video is related to commas. And after that, I will be discussing more punctuation marks and hope you are going to use it in your writing, and it will be very helpful to understand and to apply punctuation marks perfectly. Best of luck, everybody.